So further on from my live loops demo on GarageBand, where I recorded my own things into the little squares, into the boxes, I'm going to do the same again, but I'm going to make a tune up this time, a complete tune that I'm going to do like a live performance of afterwards using live loops. Now, to do this, I need to do a little bit of pre-production. That is just to record some tracks. I want some violin parts here, and I'm actually going to record 9 parts of everything that I've got here. So my best bet with this is to, first of all, I'm going to open a new song, and I'm going to go, let's find drummer, just to record some 16th notes to. Now I've got to make sure, as before, that I've got a really good, accurate drumming sort of loop that has lots of 16th notes in, so that I can hear what it is I want to do. Now, tempo. I'm going to slow this down to, I don't know, 82 or something. Let's have a little listen. I'm just going to have it sort of soft as well. Now we've got those 16th notes in there, that's really going to help me latch onto every single thing that I record. So I can also put this as a loop into live loops, but I've got to record some strings first. So I'm going to go to my external microphone. There we go. I've got the Zoom IQ6 plugged into the end of the iPad just for extra clarity with the strings, but you can record using the internal mic. I'm just going to use this mic for a bit more clarity on those strings. So I'm just going to, how I've worked this is I'm going to end up with 4 loops with the strings here. And that's what I want to sort of put into the recorder. So, but because of the exporting angle that we've got here, I'm only going to record 1 loop at a time, but I'm going to do all 9 parts, one after the other with no break, or tiny little breaks, so that I can then arrange them into their 9 tracks. It just saves me a bit of time. So that means I'm going to need 9, let's see, 9, 10, 11 bars in total, because I want to be, well, I'll have 12. That means I've got a 2-bar intro to listen to those drums, and then I can play all of those string parts. And then what I'll do is I'll play that afterwards, and you can see how I've done it. And then I'm going to put the other parts on. So let's have a look at that then. So we've got... That's what I'm going to record to. So I'm going to record all the 9 parts, one after the other. I accidentally didn't leave enough time. So I've just got that 1 part to do at the end, but you can see that I've got all my other parts there. So I'm just going to put that last one on. It's going to extend that. That was a shame. I should have worked out that I would run out of time. So I'm actually going to go to bar 13 and record 1 other note. There we go. So. Why did I record 2? Well, I think that when I started recording straight away, it might have cut the beginning of this off. So I'm actually going to use the 2nd note that I played just then. So I'm going to now split all of these parts at every bar, so that then I can put them all on their own track. Oh, there we go. Split and scissors across. There we go. So by doing this, I've saved myself a lot of time recording, because I haven't had to constantly go back and press go again. Now, of course, this is also dependent on things like rhythmic security, to make sure that all those violins are going to begin and end at the same time. But the more parts you have, the more slight inaccuracies you could hide, just in case they're not quite there. So I could keep going and do lots and lots of parts here. There we go. And then the very last one also. In fact, I can see at a glance that the first one that I recorded, which was just now, that has been cut off a bit. Now, I need to specify, I need to put more tracks on here. There we go. My songs. Oh, no, not my songs. I'm still in it. This is the only trouble. If you're creating lots and lots of tracks, you have to create one track every time. That was the silence at the beginning, which I don't want. So you have to keep creating these tracks. You can't sort of create 9 tracks at once, for example. So now what I've got here then is the opportunity to make these strings into a stereo sort of spread, if you like. Now I did this on my version of While My Guitar Gently Weeps as well, but I played all the parts in from beginning to end. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually, to save time during this demonstration, I'm only going to have this string line. I'm not going to put the other ones down because we'll be here all week. But you can just do more of the same with your lines, making sure that you've got a really good sort of rhythmic grasp of where it's going to come in, so you don't end up slicing your audio off. So I've just got my... there we go, another track. Okay, so I've got all my tracks now vertically sort of aligned, so that when I play them together, with any luck, they shall all play at the same time, and we'll get a nice thick string section. Okay, that's okay, but I can hear where I stop the bow for each new bit that I was going to play, each new note. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to draw a box around them all, and then just drag the end in ever so slightly, see what happens then. That's okay, I can live with that. So what I'm going to do now is to mute the drums, and I'm going to select everything here, move it all back to bar 1. Is that aligned with bar 1? Yes, it is. Okay. Then I'm going to make this entire section now only 1 bar in length. Now I'm going to merge these tracks. So merge. Oh, first of all, I'm going to pan them as well, so that the violins are a nice stereo image. So each harmony part, I've got one on the left, one on the right, and one in the middle. So there's one on the left, one in the middle, one on the right, one on the left, one on the right. Now I know they're all sort of quite trebly at the moment, but I'm actually going to do that in the mix itself, rather than just apply EQ to everything. Okay, what I could also do is to prevent that ending, because there's quite a lot of noise there. I'm actually going to automate the end. Because it's a fade anyway, I'm going to apply automation to all of these tracks. So that I can get a nice clean ending. And then we'll just double check to see how that sounds, because I don't want it to sort of suddenly cut off. I'm happy with that. So now I'm going to merge these tracks. So when you press merge, you then have the opportunity to select all the other tracks that you want to send to make your stereo file, to make your sort of exported file. Okay, there we go, just to double check that they're all there. Yeah, and then merge. Now, there is my file. Now, what I could also do with this is to put the EQ, just going to take the treble down a little bit on that, and then the very, very lowest bass as well, so I don't end up with sort of lots of sub bass, which you do get if you've got lots of mic channels open. There we go, that's better. Now I'm going to, the song is still 1 bar long. I'm going to go to My Songs now, and I'm going to rename this Strings Pad B flat minor, which is what the chord is. Now I'm going to click and hold that, and I'm going to share. And then I'm going to share that song, it's only 1 bar long at the moment, as an uncompressed file. And then I'm going to save it to my files. And now I'm going to open up the GarageBand loops itself. There we go. Add. Actually, just before I do that, I'm going to do my drums. How am I going to do this? Well, I can go into a new file now. I'm going to go to Fun and Clean, and I'm going to use, don't forget, got to use the same tempo here, so I think I was 82. There we go. So I'm going to use this metal cup with a bit of fabric over it for my kick drum. Now, what I should be doing here, actually, is to be putting that same, a similar drummer thing up as well, so that I've got something to record to. So, acoustic, there's Kyle again. I'm going to have soft hi-hats, maximum complexity, so it's 16ths. There we go. Now, I'm not going to worry about the snare, the kick drum actually here. So I'm going to take the kick and the snare out, revealing only the hi-hats, so that I've got something to align my kick drums up to. But I don't want to have that kick drum in there as well to sort of put me off what I want to record. So I'm going to go back to the beginning. Now, that first one was fairly dire in terms of its timing. So what I actually should be doing is, let's say I'm going to have a 4-bar loop. I'm actually going to wait for 2 bars of the hi-hats before I come in. So, now comes my snare drum. Snare. Okay, I'm going to have that. I'm just going to turn the mic gain down a little bit because it's rather hot. So I'm going to have a go at recording this now. So I've got a spare track. I'll need to add another track, an audio track here. More sounds, clean. There we go. Okay, there was one or two little issues with that, but I'm going to do hi-hats first, and then I can sort of tweak the timing as I go. So I'm going to get down closer to the mic. Okay, yeah, there was a snare drum there which was way off. So while I'm in the track view here, I can sort that out by just splitting where I need to move that snare. So I'm just going to go. There it was, and it's just there. So the best thing to do with this is to drag this open until you see snap to grid off there. That means that I can then split the track there and there, somewhere after the snare, because they're so far apart it doesn't really matter. And then, there we go, I'm going to bring that back. I think I split that twice, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm now going to cut everything. I'm going to slice everything up at bar 7 where I finish the loop. And then I've got to check whether this is going to work as a round, because of course if it doesn't, it's not going to work well in live loops at all. So now I need to delete that, go back to bar 3, wherever that is, wherever I started. There we go. And this time I'm going to close it slightly so that the snap to grid is off. Should have done that before, really. And I've got to double check whether that's going to work at bar 7. That one is split there. Let's see what that sounds like. Don't forget, your ears are the ultimate judge. If your ears say it's okay, it is. Okay, so I'm going to take the main kit out now. Okay, I'm not unhappy with that actually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the drums here now. I'm going to select all and bring it all the way back to bar 1, and then specify a section A as 4 bars. Now I've got a little bit of mixing to do first and a little bit of sort of treatment. So I want that bass drum, for example, to be, you know, deep. So that's this one here. So I'm just going to crank the bass right up and the treble down and compress it and bring the volume down. Oh, there's a little rhythmic thing there to sort out. I'm going to also bring in a noise gate so you can't hear the noise of the mic. Yeah, it's the last 8th note of the 2nd bar. That's just a little bit lazy. So I'm just going to go here, split that, and split it there, and then move that ever so slightly that way. Okay, so far I'm quite happy with that. So I'm just going to go back and there is a little break in those hi-hats, but I don't mind. I don't mind. We could put percussion loops. We could also, you know, could do anything really with that. So the snare. The snare I want to put through like a distortion maybe to try and get a bit more of a snare-y type sound out of it. There we go, overdrive. Let's really ramp it up a bit. Yeah, okay. Now I want to also perhaps bring it down in pitch a bit. Where are we? Vocal transformer. Now. World's your oyster here. You don't need to make it sound. If it sounds, I mean, yeah, I'm not so sure about it at the moment, but it's something. So, visual EQ on the hi-hat, so I'm just going to take the treble down a bit. So, now I've got my loop in place, so that's bars 1 to 5. I'm going to go My Songs. I'm going to name this, rename, Drums, B flat minor. I mean, you could set your hierarchy how you like. Now, I am now going to export that, share, song, share. Now, when I go into live loops in a minute, I'm going to put some bass down, but I'm going to do it within live loops, like I did on my previous video. So, now we've got that, we've got to make sure that we've got 82 beats per minute in the upcoming song. We've got to make sure the tempo is going to be the same. Add to that, and then I'm going to go into live loops and new, and then bring in my drums. Drums B flat minor, there it is. And I'm also going to do the violet strings pad via B flat minor. With any luck, this will all tally up. Now, I've got to make sure that my tempo is at 82 as well. This is just a global tempo. It won't affect the playing, it won't affect the sounds themselves, because this is audio we're dealing with. So, now comes the point where I'm going to put in a little bit of bass. So I'm going to still keep the mic that I've got, and I'm going to use my acoustic bass just for speed of inputting. So I've got to put in a couple of different lines that would sort of, you know, that would pertain to the groove itself. So, go back to my main window, and then I'm going to play that. Stop it so that I've got the green play light flashing at the top, and then I'm going to record into cell here. I'm just going to turn the mic gain up a bit. Okay. Okay. Okay, so now I've got my bass line in there. I've got to make sure that I've got, in fact, a 4-bar loop there. So I should have done that when I was here, just to set this bar length to 4 bars. And what I could do is I could record all subsequent loops to that as well, is just to set the bar length before I start. So hopefully now, if I just turn the strings down, the bass up a bit, Okay, so I've got something going on there. There's something at least. So maybe something like an acoustic guitar would might sort of give me a bit of a sort of a treble-y sort of fill, because everything's quite dark at the moment. So maybe I could do something like this. Might be helpful to tune my instruments before this presentation. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to record into this cell now. More sounds. Fun and clean. There we go. Okay. So the green light, the play light isn't flashing at the moment because I haven't specified what I'm going to be playing. So I need to go record into cell. The play light will still be flashing and therefore I'll hear everything else. Okay, I'm actually going to record a 2-bar loop, but I'm going to use the first 2 bars to get into the whole sort of groove thing. Just going to play that, stop it, record into cell, wait. I could wait 1 bar, but actually I'll wait 2. Okay, I'm going to do that again, but I'm going to wait 1 bar. Now, I'm going to make sure that I get that I can record, I can hear what I'm doing. And, oh, still can't hear what I'm doing because I'm rushing through trying to get it done now. There we go. So I'm just going to record a very basic guitar loop in there. So now I've got my acoustic guitar in there. I'm going to record exactly the same, but below. So below there, I'm going to record another acoustic guitar that's as close as to that one as I can get it, so I can then pan them. So I'm just going to go back to my thing here, just have a quick listen to. I've got to try and remember what I did now. So I'll just hear that other acoustic guitar while I'm going. So I actually played something completely different there. I thought I'm going to give up on that for now, trying to play exactly the same, because actually they might sound quite good. They might sound all right if I've panned them slightly and there's something slightly different going on in each thing. So if I just play those 2 back. Let's see what it sounds like with the drums. Okay, I think you've seen enough of this. this is basically a process that you could, you can just do anything here. Now, what you can also do, if I just go to here, I can copy this cell and then I can paste it into here. So you can make your own sort of, you can make your own sections by just pasting in. So you could have, oh yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm going to have just bass and drums first, for example. And in a minute I could go to the other bits. Yes, not sure about that last one, but you can see now I'm basically making a live performance, and I can also copy stuff on the fly. I don't need to stop it in order to think, oh, maybe I could have another section that is just drums and bass only, because I can just copy while it's playing. That's really intuitive. It means that you can be thinking of things on the fly and therefore see if it's going to work or not. And then, of course, you can record your performance afterwards by going back to the beginning, pressing record, and away you go. Now, afterwards, after I've done this, I can go back to my tracks view, and that essentially is the performance that I've just done using the live loops. And you can see that there was one of the acoustic guitars that was slightly later stopping than the other one. So I just do that and drag it back. If I'm not happy with those rhythmics, those 16th offbeats, I can adjust it here. Anything can be done with this, literally anything. And it's even more fun, I think, because you just don't know what's going to happen.